starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Hey guys, it's Mizzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Welcome to the show. As always, I have some technical difficulties. My computer went haywire a little while ago, and now it's updating, so I had to jump on my phone. I didn't want to cancel tonight. So I'm going to kind of wing it for a little while. And if I can, I will switch to my computer. It actually just popped up, so I might be able to switch to it sooner than later. So I'm going to kind of do it a little backwards tonight. I am going to have a guest, but I just wanted to greet you guys first while you guys came in before I bring my guest in. Tonight's going to be a little wacky. Give me 1 second. Because I would rather do it from my computer than on the phone, because I can't really see the chat from my phone. So, fun. Hey, Dennis, how are you? How are you tonight? Yeah, it's a little. This is the first time I've done a live from a show, and I don't even know where to look. Should I look over here? Look over here, because it all is wacky. So you'll have to bear with me for a little bit. So I hope everybody is doing good tonight. You too, Dennis. Hey, Cheryl. Good to see you. Thanks for joining and always being a great moderator. It's a little wacky tonight, as usual. It wouldn't be a Mizzy show, a mixed girl in a mixed up world show without me having technical difficulties. So I got to see if my guest is here, because I don't even know how to add from here. Okay, my guest is here, so I am just going to say a blanket hello to everybody until I can get my computer up. Once I get my guest on, and I'll let her do a little talking while I once my computer's fully up and running. It's just waiting to finish the reboot. So I'm going to bring my guest in. Welcome, Barb.
There I am. Whoa.
Hey, how's it going?
Very
Long time
good.
no see.
Yeah.
We were just on Justice Served tonight. That won't be up right now. It's up for I can't remember what it's called, for members only right now, but they're going to add it in the next, probably they said, I think the weekend they'll add it. So you guys, I'll make sure to post it on our page once it's up for everybody to watch. So yeah, wacky.
Oh, God.
How are you?
I'm all right. Sorry about your computer. My gosh.
I'm probably going to be buying a new one. I was actually, while I was waiting for it to update in between, being on Justice Served. And if you guys don't follow them, please go to follow them. They have such a great channel.
Yeah.
Dennis says hi to you, Barb.
Excellent.
It's very sensitive. I don't want to mess with it. So everybody knows, if I don't highlight anything and read any questions at the moment till my computer is fully up and running, that's why. So let's get past the chaos. We had some news come out yesterday about them DOJ not seeking the death penalty.
Right.
And what was your first reaction to that?
Shock. I didn't expect that for at least another couple of weeks.
Yeah. They had till what was it, July,
January 20th.
Yeah, so it came really early, almost
Right.
a month and a week early. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was shocked, and that's what I put into the chat, that I didn't, the comment to what you had posted, I didn't know how to feel.
No, I didn't either.
You know, I didn't know if I thought it was good or bad, or I was kind of like almost indifferent because I wasn't expecting it you know, this soon.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on them not going after the death penalty?
I have mixed feelings. As everybody probably knows, I'm not a fan of the death penalty. I don't believe in it for religious reasons mainly. But I did feel, I feel like Matthew Farwell now he's able to breathe now. He doesn't have that threat hanging over his head, which is something that Sandra probably lived with every single day. She was in fear of him. He had pushed her around and abused her in the past. And it made me feel better knowing he was feeling threatened, that he knew that his life was in jeopardy, just like she did. It made me feel a little bit better. But now at least now I hope he's talking. I hope he's saying something. He's talking and cooperating.
Yeah.
Implicating the others.
Go ahead.
Implicating the others, at least the other two.
Yeah. Yeah. Them adding saying that there's a possibility that they were going for the death penalty. I thought that was always that they wanted to use it as a way to, negotiate with him, like saying, hey, this is what's on the table. But with them, I don't know what to make of this. And Barb and I have no insight into this. When I say we find out things, we find out things like sometimes 15 minutes before you guys find out. Sometimes 5 minutes before you guys find out.
Right. Yeah.
We get a quick heads up, but we don't find, it's not, I mean, there's some stuff that we found out through different means of finding stuff out, but a lot of the times when these big stories are dropping, we find out like right before it's coming out. And
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And we don't, it's I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if he's talking, if it just came from Main Justice, from Pam Bondi saying no death penalty. So I don't know. The president is pro death penalty. We do know this, but he's also a police officer, former police officer. So that might have played into it from Main Justice, not the DOJ department here, but from Main Justice, Pam Bondi's office.
Right.
Is that a factor in why he isn't getting it? So we don't know. These are unknowns, and like I said, they're unknowns to us.
Right.
We don't know what we don't know. That saying is always funny to say, but we don't know what we don't know. But I've always thought it was a ploy, not a ploy. A ploy isn't the best word. A
incentive
to negotiate. Like, listen, this is what's on the table.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, just booting up.
All right, good.
Yeah, it's I've already got StreamYard up, so I might be able to switch which way I'm gonna. So with that said, I mean, what are your feelings on it? Like, I know you aren't pro death penalty. You are against the death penalty. What are your thoughts of now the punishment if he's, you know, I won't even say if, when he's convicted, that he will have the you know, the highest value that it is life
Right.
in prison.
I wouldn't want him to have any less than that. And I would also want it to be with no possibility of parole,
Yes.
you know, because then that brings us back to court over and over and over again over, you know, the next God knows how long years.
Yeah.
So that would not be fair to the family. They've been through enough. I'm talking about her immediate family, you know, her uncle and her aunts. They've been through enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think if there was a condition like he has to serve at least 25 years and then maybe parole. But I don't think I can't see him, even in that instance, I couldn't see them giving him parole because he's not going to admit that he did it.
No.
If unless he's negotiating a deal, then he will have to say he did it. That's the only way you can
Oh, okay.
negotiate a deal. You can't.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, he has to admit in court that he did it.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Not bad. I think someone like him is never going to change either. That's another thing. I think he's always going to predate on women. I think whether it be now or 25 years from now, he's always going to be a danger to society.
Exactly.
And he should never be on the streets.
Yeah.
Yep.
We hope that, Dennis, we hope that he's talking. I mean, you know,
yes,
it would be the best outcome for the family. I mean, I have, you know, there's that curiosity and of wanting to know everything that the feds know.
that'd be
but
nice.
if the family doesn't have to suffer through a trial, and that's all of you cousins, aunts, you know, third and fourth cousins, you know, cousins who are cousins through marriage, you know, wives of cousins who are only Sandra's cousin through marriage, everybody who, and friends, and even the supporters, if we don't have to suffer through a trial and have to see all the gory details. But on one hand, I'm kind of looking forward to some of those details just because we want to know.
Right.
But if you don't have to see Sandra in certain positions of, like, you know, crime scene photos, seeing her like that, you know, seeing autopsy photos, those kind of things, you know, it saves the family that heartache of seeing your loved one, you know, like that. And friends, you know, their loved one like that. And even supporters, like even somebody say like me, who's grown to love Sandra, as who's worked on this case for so long, you know, you know, especially you guys, the family, you know, you don't want to see her like that. You don't want to see her when they enter that room. You don't want to see any of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, you could avoid it if you leave the courtroom, but you never know when a photo is going to pop up.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
So
when and where.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel of missing, you know, there are details and answers to some of the questions you have that you will not get if it happens like that, if there is a plea deal. Oh,
It won't be easy. They'll, you know, are you okay?
yeah, my computer's coming up, so I'm like, it's like kind of
Okay.
It's
I just want to see him and get life. I want to see him stay behind bars. As long as he's behind bars, I'll be happy. I can get details from you. You can answer my questions for me.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Okay, you do that. There you go. Oops, she's gone. Oh no. Oh goodness.
Apologize.
All
Sorry.
right. That's okay. Take your time.
It's stereo and it's not. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Sure, take your time. Don't rush, because then that's when things go wrong, when you rush.
Okay. I think I have to. Oh, I don't know how to do this with. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. I'm adding me to the stage, and then I'm going to take this other one off the stage.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. I'm no help at all. I know nothing about StreamYard. Nothing. Except how to push the link to get here. That's all I know. Okay. Well, I can't help her. Oh.
I'm adding me to the stage,
Okay.
and then I'm.
Take your time. I'll just sit here. We can just sit here and chill for a minute. Chat amongst yourselves. I can't even see the chat.
Okay, I think
I'm afraid to touch anything.
that worked.
I don't see you though. Oh,
I think it worked.
technology. Okay. You're not moving.
You don't. It's. I think it's.
Okay, I see you. I can't hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to turn my sound down on this.
Okay, because
I don't
there's a
hear
little
myself.
reverb going on or whatever you
Okay.
call it. All right.
Is it still a reverb?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Sweating for you.
It's echoing for me.
Perspiring
Sorry,
for
guys.
you. Oh my gosh.
All right. I'm just gonna.
Perspiring for the two of us here. What is going on? Oh my goodness. All right. How are we doing?
I'm doing okay.
Breathe.
I'm just gonna go through my phone.
Oh. Okay. Who knows what's going on? Oh my goodness.
There we go.
And there she is.
Okay. And it's still echoing.
Oh no.
No,
Do
I know how.
So you can fix it? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like Ash. What is it?
Okay.
Ashley Banfield. Count to 10. There's a
Yes.
way on that show. Oh,
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna have to do it through the phone. Well, sorry guys. I tried.
It was a good
fun.
try.
Oh, what a hot mess.
Oh no. Yeah. Do what we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can somebody type in the chat because I don't see it working. Oh, updated. I don't know what's going on, Barb.
I'm afraid to
Okay.
touch anything on my screen. I'm
not touching anything else. I was hoping it would
Leaving
be
the
a
screen.
seamless transition. I think I would have to end here and go into like it's not letting me do a seamless transition. So sorry guys, technical difficulties as usual. So the next thing that needs to be talked about is do you feel like we've finished this topic? We kind of started in the middle of the topic. Not a good chance.
Well, we don't have a lot of information, and you know how I feel.
Yeah, it's also like the little tidbits that what's a question that we haven't got an answer to that you really want to hear in court?
Oh, for them to ask him?
No, not to ask him because he's probably not going to take the stand. To find out that you would learn from the evidence that we don't know that they have, or a question that they'll ask, any witness, what's an answer to a question that you don't know the answer to as of right now, that you hope you will learn when there's a trial.
I think the one thing that keeps popping up in my head is exactly what happened at the Stoughton police station when that person made the phone call on the January 20th phone call. Like exactly the person who took the phone call, like was Matthew Farwell in the room already? Did he walk in on them? Did they actually get up and tell him? And another, where was he? What were the logistics of that? How did
Yeah.
it go down exactly? Because a lot of people are angry at this person, but you don't know. Maybe he walked in and overheard it or something. We don't know exactly what the
Yeah.
circumstances of that were.
Yeah.
Like to know about that.
And this kind of
What about
piggybacks
you?
off that. I want to know who that officer is and how it all came about. Like you said, people are so angry at that officer, but we don't know how it went down.
We don't.
It could have been something where William overheard it or Divine overheard it and went to Matthew, and that person was confronted with the information. We don't know how it went down. We just know that he got this information from another officer.
Exactly. That's all we know.
Yeah. To piggyback off that even more is I want to know who the friend is who called. And I want to hear this friend's story. Like, was it just complete? Did this person completely say it out of anger, or were they thinking, oh, since I have them on the line, I know what I believe and how it's come out, how it's in the reports, like the Stoughton report.
Yep.
But we don't know how it fully, that story, the full story is there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, I don't know too many people who would call the police when someone owes them money.
Yeah.
I don't. I would think that would be not the right thing to do. Call the police when someone owes you money. You call the police when someone's breaking into your house or, stuff like that. Not when somebody owes you money. What are they going to
So I want to know the full story, because it's like,
I don't understand. The whole thing is wonky to me.
those two stories
It just doesn't make sense.
are what directly in his pending baby with the wife. But he was probably already like mulling this stuff over, but that phone call is what really, really sparked what happened.
Do you know if they called 911 or if they called the business line? Most police stations have a business line and a 911.
Yeah. No, I can't remember if it says in the report. I think it says they called the police station. I don't think it says they called 911.
It doesn't say what they call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So maybe they just call for some advice on what to do.
That could be too. Hi, Coco. Let me see if I could scroll up a little bit and see what other people are saying.
Yeah. I'd love to hear it.
Hold on. What does that say? Yeah. Money matter. To answer this question, money, or to comment on this. Yeah, the money isn't part of the
matters.
That'll be part of the civil case.
Civil court, yes.
And that case is paused right now because of his pending trial.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one that her aunt and uncle initiated. Yeah.
Yes.
That one's on pause. That was against what? The town of Stoughton police, and also the three men, Robert, William, and Matthew. Was that it? Oh, the Explorers. I don't remember now. It's been so long.
What was let me just answer
case.
This. Cheryl, that was me, not StreamYard or YouTube. It was because right now I'm on my phone because my computer was updating and I didn't think it was going to be ready in time. So I said, I might as well go live, because I was just about to like, come in the chat and say, hey guys, I'm going to be a couple minutes late because my computer was almost booted. And then it started cycling again, saying it was doing another update. So I was like, I'll just do my phone. And then it came up in the middle of it. So that's why I was having that issue. It was me, not StreamYard. But, like I said, there always has to be some sort of technical difficulty. It's not a Mizzy stream if everything goes perfectly right.
Oh, no. It's too much. You could blame StreamYard if you want.
Yeah, well, that last part was weird, because I should have been able to take me off this and you not be able to hear me, or me hear through here, because my volume was totally turned down. So that was the thing that was weird with StreamYard. See, now what I don't like about me doing it on the phone, I can't fully, hold on, I see.
Can't see anything.
I can't see the full chat.
No, I can't see it at all, and I'm afraid to click on anything. I might disappear.
So I can only see like the last person. So like every time somebody else makes a comment.
Oh, no. Sorry, guys.
I can't read the whole, like I said, I can't read the whole stream. I'm trying to go back.
Oh, gosh.
As far as I can. Yeah, this is a good.
They want to know if this was a conspiracy.
That's what I want to know. I mean,
conspiracy.
In a sense, the whole, if you look at the whole case in its totality. Yes. Yeah, it is a conspiracy. But when you break it down, was there a conspiracy to murder Sandra? That's what we need to know. But if they did a if they can prove that there's a conspiracy, they would just do a superseding indictment and broaden it, so anybody that was part of this conspiracy could be charged for her murder. So even somebody who had nothing to do with it, they could bring in as part, and that would be a way for them to negotiate to testify. Like, if there are people who don't want to testify, which they would just give a subpoena to anyway. But if they want to get as many people rolled up into this, they could, that's how they could do it.
I can think of two that I'd like them to add right now.
Yeah. But right now, like, I think part of it is like, we don't know what they have, what we don't, like I said earlier, we don't know what we don't know. But there's also, can they prove there was this conspiracy as part of the murder of her? And that's why I want to know, Divine called Sandra the day of her death, the day of her murder. Mm-hmm. Did he speak to Farwell? Did he speak to Farwell before, like in and around the time, before or after? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah, me too. Him calling her is not out of the norm, because he was constantly in constant contact with her, from what we've heard. But did he talk to Farwell or not? That's the question.
Yeah. I mean, from what they said in the reports, that they did speak. So,
and then we have to look at William. I mean, twins, and they were very close twins. They tell each other everything. They don't secrets from each other. They tell each other everything. Half the time they don't even have to. They just know stuff. They have intuition between twins, they know. They feel each other's feelings and things, It's really weird. But I know around twins like my cousins, they were very close. They had no secrets from each other.
This question, I want to know if Divine and Farwell, and Farwell brothers, conspired and MF drew the short straw. Sorry for how that sounds, but these people.
No, that's
I don't think
question.
I don't think it would have been him drawing the short straw. He was the one who had the most to lose.
Right.
because there is no proof as of right now that we know of sitting here that Sandra was sexually abused by Divine and William when she was a minor. She was groomed by all of them, but Matthew was the only one who abused her as a minor. And let's put this little caveat in there. Matthew abused her as a minor weeks before she was going to be of legal age. That's how sick of a person he is. He had to abuse her as a minor because that's what he liked. And he needed the rush of that. That's how sick of a person he is.
Well, that's why I think he wanted to kill her too. If you, I don't know where it was. Was it in the affidavit? They talked about some of his fantasies. They were really sick. They were so sick.
Yeah.
Sicko.
Yeah. And, but think about that.
The monster.
The first time was in April. Her birthday is in May.
Yeah. Yeah. May
so
13th.
it was, I think it was ended up being less than a month. He had to do it before, like half of his problems, not half, I'd say a quarter of his problems would have went out the window if he had waited a month.
Mm-hmm.
But he was so sick, he couldn't wait because he needed it to happen for his sickness before she was of age.
Yeah, that's scary to me.
And it's, I mean, like, and she was only going to be 16. So the age of consent in Massachusetts needs to be upped more. Every state should be 18.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even think about yourself at 18, how immature, and young you were, and
Yeah, it's like,
you knew about the world.
it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
No, we don't know who the baby's father is.
Oh,
And that's something that we don't really talk about until we have proof of who the father is. To me, there's no reason speculating yet.
no.
We have this, we know who it could be. We know who these people are. And it might not even be one of them.
Exactly.
There are people she was dating, we know of people that they had spoken to recently. It could have been.
Right.
We do not know. So kind of out of respect for the family, we get that question constantly. And, it hurts the family, that question. And no, I'm not blaming you for asking the question. I understand. I ask the question to myself often, but it's just, that's our most asked question. And we just don't have an answer right now. I said on Justice Served tonight, trust us, we want to know so we can put the information out there, we want, so that part of the I don't know what word I'm looking for. The public has this wanting and needing to know the answer to that question. And we don't know. We wish we did. I totally wish I knew so I could put it out there and then we could stop having to have that question asked because we get asked so often. And I don't want you to feel bad for asking that question. Please don't feel bad for asking it because people ask it not knowing that how often we get asked that. So,
every day.
Yes.
Several times a day.
Yeah.
We'd love to tell you if we knew. We would.
Yeah. We trust us. We wish we knew. I mean, Barb and I talk about it a lot. We wish we knew. But we don't, unfortunately. And we hope that it is going to be answered in this trial. We really hope it's answered in this trial.
We may never know.
Yeah, because I mean,
Matt.
for all we know, it could be somebody that we don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
We hope. We hope. You know, we absolutely hope it's revealed in this trial.
Yes.
Just to warn everybody who are coming in later, I am on my phone because I was having computer issues, and I can't. It's hard for me to see the chat, so I'm kind of scrolling back as much as I can. So if I miss a question, please don't. I'm not trying to ignore your questions. We want to answer your questions as much as we can, but unfortunately, I'm having issues tonight. So I am going to scroll back every once in a while.
You can always go on the website and send us there's a comment form, contact form on the website. They can ask on there, and I'll answer.
Or you can even ask it, if you have a question that you really want answered, you can ask it, go when we sign off tonight, you can go into the comment section, and I can either answer you back in the comment section, or I will go through the comment section and write down those questions, and on next week's stream I will answer them for you. I might do a stream about Brandon maybe Friday, but I'm not sure yet. Depends on how I feel after going out tomorrow. I'm going Christmas shopping tomorrow. So I'll let you guys know. I really want to get these Brandon stories out there. I want to try to get all of them before the new year. I probably have 2 more streams on him. So I can bring Sarah in the new year, and we can, Sarah can go update you on Brandon's case. So I really want to.
Are there some updates? There's
not really updates, but she's found out a lot more information because, because I interviewed her in 2021, I think it was. Okay. So just imagine how many updates in the this amount of years it's been. So there's a lot more information, and she's finding out stuff every day on his case, because she works on it every day.
Gosh. All right.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and Barb appreciates it too. It means the world to us that you guys want to be here and learn more about Sandra's case and talk about it. So one of the other things that has come out in the last few weeks is about him wanting to move the trial to Rhode Island.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on? I mean, obviously we know what your thoughts are going to be on this, but let's hear it from you.
Well, of course I don't want him to move it. I don't drive, so it'll be difficult for me to get there. And, he's saying he's doing that so they don't have to transport him so far. How wonderful of him to be so thoughtful of them, right? He just wants to make sure the family can't be there and kind of distance himself from the family, and why should we make amends? Like you said, he can stay in Massachusetts. His place is, what was that place you said he can stay if it happens here?
Fort Devens.
Oh, Fort Devens. Okay.
Yeah, they have a hospital there that that there are some inmates there, and they can keep people there.
Right.
And that's where they kept I can never pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try to. The
marathon bomber.
Boston Marathon bomber. He was housed there when he was going through trial.
All right.
Let me answer this question.
Sure.
You probably received a second notification because I tried to switch to my computer. So it might have kicked out a second notification. I don't know if that's why. I wanted to stream from my computer, but it wasn't. So there was a whole mess. So I'm just going to keep it on my phone because we were having echoing and I wasn't able to add myself without the echo. And so it was a hot mess. So we're just going to keep it on my phone and try to get through this. Oh, but I appreciate you coming. You know, we've, like I said, just said to the other person, you know, Barb and I appreciate you all being here. And it means the world to us that you want to learn more about Sandra's case and that we can get Sandra's case out there more.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I agree with that. He wants to keep it out of Massachusetts.
Right.
And keep it away from the public here. But, you know, he should have thought of that before he did what he did. And I agree with you. I don't drive also. Yes, there's the train that goes right down there. And it's not too far. The train station isn't that far. Still would have to take an Uber or Lyft or have somebody pick you up. I mean, I think that we could probably figure out rides and stuff like that. But it would be, I mean, like for me to come from New Hampshire, for me to go to Rhode Island.
Oh my gosh.
It would be like, I might as well just move to Rhode Island for a month because it would take me like 4 hours a day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know, so it's like,
yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Way too much.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the judge tells him no.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
Hi, Missy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. So I think it's like a joke. Oh, I'm doing this for you guys. You know, this is for you. Come on, dude. You're just afraid to face the Massachusetts public.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, they're saying it's prejudice because of the Boston Globe articles and all that, but that's baloney.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people in Ireland who have heard of this case, and everybody in Rhode Island has heard of it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's been on a lot of other media outlets besides the Globe. You know.
It was on Dateline.
Dateline. I forgot.
Hello, it was on Dateline, dude.
Oof.
You know, you're not. It's not gonna go to Rhode Island. Yeah, it might not be as big in Rhode Island, but you don't think if his trial gets moved to Rhode Island, the Rhode Island press isn't gonna start picking it up?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so yeah, you know, it's ridiculous for him to think that moving it to Rhode Island is going to be a reprieve because it's not.
No, it's not.
It is not.
No.
So we have a hearing coming up next week on the 16th. It is the final, I can't remember how it's worded. I keep asking you because my brain just.
Final status hearing.
Final status hearing.
Yeah.
And
administrative kind of hearing. It's where the lawyers check in with the judge just to see how things are going and if there's any kinks in the armor, you know, any kind of problems they have to iron out before the actual trial starts and everything gets going. So
for those who don't know, Missy is the moderator, I would say the sorceress behind the scenes of Justice Served TV. She, you know, she has them running like a well-oiled machine.
He does.
And we were so glad to be on over there, as we said earlier in the show. I had asked them, because they're both lawyers, two very distinguished lawyers, if it was odd that that they would go from one, you know, because we've already been in front of the trial judge. And yes, this was already on the books, but, you know, I find it weird that we're going from being in front of the trial judge to going back to this judge to going back. Then we're going to go back to the trial judge again.
It's weird.
And it's for me, it's weird. And they said, yeah, it is kind of weird. But they also said it depends on what's going on. And Linda was saying that she's not sure if this hearing will happen. And I've been kind of feeling the same
Me
way.
too. Mhm.
So please, 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 please make sure you pay attention to our social media, because we will put it out there whether or not the hearing happens.
I'll be
You know,
checking her every day.
yeah, especially once it gets to, actually usually around this time is when you start like
Yeah.
checking
Yeah.
every day, and we usually find out Friday or
Yeah.
that Monday night.
I need to
So
look at my calendar. Hang on. let me-
please make sure you check our social media, at Justice for Sandra Birchmore. Barb will put it on the website. I will get it on Twitter, and we will definitely get it on the Facebook page. So please check one of those 3 places.
And that would be like next Tuesday. So
Yes.
well, gonna have to start checking.
Yes.
Oof. 3 times a day at least.
Yeah, I don't do Pacer. Barb handles that. So I'm always like, Barb, Barb, can you check?
Yeah, I check it before I go to bed. I check it when I get up in the morning.
Yeah. So
Oh, no.
yeah, so she'll check it.
Yeah.
She'll check it before she taps out, and she'll let me know, and I can put it up on, on at least the Facebook page and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
was there anything else you thought we needed to touch upon? Because I know you wanted to head out. You wanted to be here about 40-45 minutes.
Yeah. I can't think of. I'm trying to figure out. There's another hearing before the trial, right? Isn't it like in March or something like that? Another. It's like a pre-trial conference or something.
Oh, we have lots of hearings before the trial. We have one almost every month.
Oh, okay.
I think the next one after this hearing is going to be in February.
Oh, February.
But I suspect that
I don't have that.
we will have a hearing in January.
In January?
I suspect, because I think the judges going to want to have them all come in and argue their points on change of venue.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right too.
So I suspect we'll be having a hearing in January, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Okay. I can't think of anything else though.
Question for us. If the hearing doesn't happen, will it push things back? No, because this is just a final status hearing.
Yeah.
So it's already in front of the trial judge. So this is just basically kind of like a housekeeping thing to see where things are at. And if the judge needs to, the trial judge really needs to say, hey guys, you guys got to get moving on this stuff. Because people got to understand, the trial judge doesn't play. She is like on top of things.
Yeah.
And she is this case is gonna happen whether they want it to happen or not. Because she was like, I want a date. And she's like, and here it is. She had the date down. I couldn't write fast enough.
Yeah, she was on it.
There is a date every month. And then once we get to after July or at the end of July, August, there's like two a month. And I think once we get into September, I think July, there might be 2, August, there might be 2 or 3, in September, because it's starting, there's going to be a lot in September because it's we'll have to go through the motions in limine and all that stuff. And so once we get to after the 4th of July, things are going to start moving really fast. So.
Oh, yeah. Good.
So, well, I thank you for coming on and being here. I'm glad you were here because this was a mess,
Oh, no, it wasn't bad. No.
Yeah, but it would have been really bad if I would have been able to do my phone a little which I might, maybe no, I won't do that midstream. It's easier for me to see. Sorry. It's easier for me to see the chat if my phone was turned the other way, but because I had somebody else on, I didn't want to do it like that.
Okay.
Anything in your closing, you know, anything that you want to put out there?
Not really. We're just going to keep on keeping on, you know?
Yeah.
It's been like that. It's been kind of like riding a wave, you know, we never know when something's going to break, some information or something, and just have to keep on it, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. People just need to make sure they're watching our social media because
Right.
you know, like we didn't know this was coming out yesterday. And I was kind of like, oh, I kind of jinxed us. I was like, thank goodness we're having a low moment and it's so chill. And then yesterday it was like, nope, wake up.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad though. Luckily it didn't get crazy.
No, it's
so
okay.
sometimes when those things come at us, it's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
well, I appreciate you being on, Barb.
Well, thank you.
I'll talk to you later. I won't be on too much longer. With this setup, it's kind of a hot mess.
I bet. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
You have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. That was Barb. Yay! Whenever I can bring Barb on, I will. You know, I said to her, let me see if I can scroll back. Yes, thanks, Barb. You know, I said to Barb, you know, you're already going to be dolled up because no, thank you, Missy, for, you know, you guys always having us on there. We really appreciate it, you know, to be able to talk to two caliber of lawyers that, you know, Michael and Linda are. It's always wonderful to be on, you know, Justice Serve. And, you know, thank you for letting us be part of the Justice Serve family. You know, it means the world to us, you know. So, yeah, anytime I can bring Barb on, I will. And I said to her this afternoon, I was like, hey, you know, since you're going to be all dolled up for Justice Served, why don't you come up with me? And I'm glad I did because it made this whole try to figure everything out with my computer a little easier. And, you know, she was there to kind of talk a little bit while I was trying to, or laugh with me as I was trying to bring it up. It's so weird because when I'm on my phone, I can't tell where I'm supposed to look. So I'm like, before I was at least looking at Barb, but luckily there's a little camera. There's a little photo next to where my screen is. So I can kind of look at myself there. So I'm going to try to keep answering questions as much as I can. Like I said, it's hard for me to do it in here. Missy says, we've been following closely and we all want justice for Sandra and her baby. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, myself and Barb doing this, there's always been a partnership with other YouTube platforms. And that's how we got this case out there. And you guys are some of the ones that are helping keeping it out there along with us. And that means the world to us because, you know, it's easy for Sandra's case to kind of get swept away because it's in federal court and because it doesn't get as much spotlight as other cases, some of the other cases out there. And a lot of that does have to do with, you know, the hearings aren't on TV. You can't watch them on YouTube. You can't watch them on, you know, Court TV or any other the streaming channels. So if you want to see the trial, you have to actually physically go there. So it's tough to kind of always keep the eyes on her case. And, you know, it means the world to us that you guys have done that. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. And I already told everybody that I was gonna put it on our page once you guys put it out. So I thank you. I appreciate that. I was going to go over Ashley Bell's interview tonight, but because my system was all messed up, I'm not going to be able to do that. So one of the things that I did want to mention was, sorry, I'm having a brain. We will be doing for the rest of the winter, I won't say winter. For the next 2 months, we aren't going to be doing any standouts. But in February, we will be doing a standout for Sandra because it will be the 5-year anniversary for Sandra's murder. And it will be at the Canton Police Department. We will definitely put out more information soon, but I want to make sure that I'm telling people about it because we want to get a big crowd there, as big as we can get. We had a really big crowd last year. I was shocked at how many people showed up, and it meant the world to us, especially since it was, in the middle of a snowstorm, and it had stopped snowing at that point, but it was still, bitter cold out, and just have everybody come and stand up for Sandra there meant the world to us. But this is a big anniversary, the 5-year. Sorry, I think my dog just fell off my mom's bed. I heard my dog bark and then I heard a bang. Sorry. Her room's right below mine. So I forgot what I was saying. Oh, we had a big turnout last year, but we want to get a bigger turnout this coming anniversary because 5 years is a big, a very sad and heartbreaking anniversary, but we want to make sure we get a good sized crowd there. So I'm in the early stages of planning all that. So I will let you guys know more as more comes out. But I want to keep mentioning that so people know that, that it is going to happen. Yeah, thank you. 5 years. It's crazy that it's been 5 years. I found out about her case in 2022, and I started looking into her case, that in September of 2022, I started looking into the case, but I didn't take a deep dive into the case till early 2023. And, so I've been on the case for 3 years now, and it's how time flies. I'm so glad that the feds took on her case because I didn't know how long it was going to take to get her some justice. And especially with Michael Morrissey refusing to charge Matthew or anyone for anything in her that happened to her. So on one hand, I was a little surprised that it happened quickly, but it shouldn't have taken that long either. So it's I wasn't sure if this was going to end up being a cold case and we were going to be fighting this for years and years, decades. And thank goodness, it didn't happen like that. My friend, Sarah, her son Brandon was murdered in 2019. So it's so much time has passed with that case. In other cases, there's another case that I worked on that happened in 2018. Last week I did a whole show on Ellen Greenberg and how her case and Sandra's case, there's a lot of similarities. And that case happened in 2011. And I mean, and there's cases that go on 50 years or there's no resolution to some of these cases that happen. And that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to have a family that never gets justice. It's heartbreaking for a family to never have the answers that they want and need. And it's heartbreaking for that person who was murdered to never get justice. So I'm hoping in October that Sandra will have a big chunk of justice, and her family and friends and supporters. I hope that's what happens at the end of the day. Thank you. It's funny. I got to tell you guys this. So when I was on Justice Serve with Barb earlier, I know I keep talking about them, but because it just happened right before we came on, my computer went haywire, and the necklace that Sandra was wearing was a flamingo. And I have a screen. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. My computer screensaver always changes, so I never know what it's going to be day to day. Every time I turn on computer, that it's different. So the screensaver that was there was a flamingo. So actually a flock of flamingos. And when it went haywire, it was cutting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to the flamingos, to the video shot, to the flamingos, to the video shot. And it was really freaky. And I said to Barb, I was like, I wonder if that was Sandra saying hi, because I don't remember where we were in our conversation. I'll have to go back in and watch the video, but it would be weird if it was in a part of the conversation, if it was right after we were talking about the flamingo necklace. I don't know if it was before or after, so I'll let you guys know on that next week. Yeah, I mean, since 2011, and, you know, they are older. It's sad for them. It's so heartbreaking for Ellen Greenberg's family. It's so heartbreaking. I'm trying to scroll back, guys. I learned about Sandra through Karen retrial. It sickened me that it's 5 years. Yeah, that's how a lot of people came to learn about Sandra's case. A lot of it had to do with, you know, that's where I kind of started getting her case out there. I would go in the chat rooms for Karen Read and talk about Sandra's case. And it wasn't to like be like, guys, look at the, you know, look at this case, look at this case. It was more like, guys, there's another case that happened almost a year before, and it's the same people. They did the same thing to Sandra as they're doing right now. And you guys need to understand that this is not just, it's bigger than what happened with Karen and John. It expands out. And then, you know, it got expanded out for all of them too. Because, you know, people realize, oh, wait a minute, just Dawn's case. There are other cases. And, you know, even like people who I think are guilty, like Brian Walsh, who I don't know if he's going to, I mean, Man One is kind of hard for them to convict. And they didn't even have, I don't believe, I haven't watched the whole trial, but the bits and pieces I've seen, I'm kind of like, I don't know if he's going to get convicted for everything. Man One is hard. I don't, does anybody know if there are any other, because I was watching Melanie a little earlier, and she said that's the only charge on the table. I don't know if there's more than that. So, and then like there are people who their cases, they might get off because of the things that Michael Proctor was doing, the things that Yuri Rekenik was doing, the things that, you know, Fanning from our case was doing. From Sandra's case, the things that these officers were doing behind the scenes, there are going to be repercussions for a long time, a very, very long time. Before you guys leave tonight, can you please make sure you like, and if you can comment after, after I end this, that would be wonderful. But if at least you go like it, it'll push this out to more people. It would mean the world to us. Like I said, the more we can get Sandra's case out there, the more eyes we can keep on Sandra's case is the better. Oops. Yeah, I don't know if there's lesser included. I don't know. I don't know if they only charged him with me in one. Yeah, I believe it. I don't live down there, but I mean, what we're seeing going on, it's ridiculous. It seems like they've been getting along. This didn't just start in, what it just was 2019. It didn't just start in 2019. This was something that they felt comfortable doing, and that's scary. That is so scary. How many people are sitting in prison right now that are innocent, that were railroaded by Michael Morrissey's office? How many? And how many victims, because of what Michael Proctor did, how many families are going to have to deal with their loved ones' murderer, or just somebody who assaulted them or robbed their house or anything like that they're going to get out of prison early because of what Michael Proctor had been doing, of what's on his phone. Once we see these text messages, we'll know how bad it is. Cheryl, I fully agree with you. I can't wait till he's out of office too. And if he loses the Brian Walsh case, he needs to just resign. He has to. He should have resigned before that. But if he loses this case after losing, after, obviously I'm free Karen Rean, so I don't think Karen should have been charged. But if, after losing those two cases, and then if he loses Walsh, he needs to go. And people really need to start putting up a stink out in front of his office again. Because if he's not convicted, and if the only thing that he ends up in prison for is the stuff that he admitted to, Michael Morrissey needs to be carted out that day, thrown on the street that day. He should have been gone a long time ago. Are there any other questions? I was planning on doing a longer stream, but I just feel like with my computer issues and me not being able to read all the comments, it's so small, and for me to scroll back and forth, I don't even have a full window. Hi, Allison in Wonderland. I wonder if the Innocence Project is looking at any Norfolk DA cases. I know there is a case. I don't know if the Innocence Project is looking at it, but I know there is a case that I don't know if I'm not sure of when he's supposed to be retried, but there was a case that was thrown out, and I can't think of his name at the moment. It was thrown out last year, or maybe the end of the year before. So it might have been 2024 it was thrown out, and they were going to retry him. And that's another case that things happened. And it was Tully. I can't remember if it was Fanning Proctor or Buchanan. Which one of them was on the case, but I know it was one of them. And that's another case. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if they are not looking into any of their cases, and they're not also looking to get their hands on Michael Proctor's texts. I mean, everybody wants his texts. We all want them, you know. I'm trying to scroll back. Yeah, we're going to have those soon. They're coming. Those sidebars are coming. You know, thankfully, her name's Corey, right? She's the queen of getting all the FOIA requests. Thanks to her, we're going to see those, and things could get interesting. Things could get very, very interesting when we start seeing those come out. Yeah, we're all looking forward to seeing those sidebars because, there was a lot of stuff that she, Judge Bev didn't allow in, and we all want to know what the fight behind the scenes was. And, did she just all the time, which a lot of us probably suspect she did, but did she over and over again just say, oh, I was on the prosecution side? Was she at all fair in there? How much of a fight did Karen's team have to put up over at the sidebar? That's all the things that we want to know. And I cannot wait. Yeah, Debbie, we all want them. We can't wait to see them. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait to see, Michael and Linda's take on it on Just to Serve, Melanie Little's take on it, Andrea Burkhart, all these players, these fabulous lawyers out there. I cannot wait to see their takes on these sidebars because yeah, they're going to be good. Things are going to get interesting with that and Proctor's texts. It's going to be Christmas. It might be a late Christmas gift for us, but it's going to be Christmas. We might be having Christmas in January too, and February. So, is there anything other questions you guys have that I can answer for you guys tonight? Yeah, her case is heartbreaking too. Her case is heartbreaking, and postpartum depression is no joke. And for the judge to not take that in account, and also not take her health issues and her needing to have surgeries in account, and just putting her in jail to await whatever, and throwing away the key, it does not fix things, and if we believe what she says is her side of the story, locking her up is not going to help her. She needs to get the help that she needs to, because this being away from her baby doesn't help her mental health. Being away from her family doesn't help the postpartum depression. It only makes it even worse. And she's a former CO and a cop. And, she's going to be scared right now. And your heart breaks for her. She's missed so much of her baby's life. And when babies are that at this age, especially the first year, missing 6 months is a lot of steps that your child has gone through. To me, just the way things went down were so suspicious to me when it came to him. He was supposed to meet her to get the baby and meet her at the park. And instead he was in court. I just looked at it. Why not go get the baby, then go to court? Because if that had gone that way, and I don't claim to know everything, all the ins and outs about her case, so I might be saying this wrong right now, but the way it went down with the baby being ripped from not just her arms, but like basically her bosom, because she was feeding him. To have the baby ripped away from her the way it was, I find it crazy that cops would treat another cop like that. So there had to have been more to the story to me when it comes to her police station, because for them to do her dirty like that, the way it went down, to me, there's a lot more behind that. So I just hope that she's able to heal mentally and physically, so she can have, live out a wonderful life. So she can, once she gets back with her child, she can be the mother that he deserves and needs. She's going to miss Christmas. She missed his first Thanksgiving. That's so heartbreaking, and it's so wrong. The judge didn't have to do what she did. She could have changed the way she was going to pee test her. There is no reason for the judge to do what she did. It's just wrong. It is absolutely wrong. Yeah, it is. It's bad for a baby to be away from their mom, especially since, a baby grows so much in their first stages of life, and, they can't get this time back. They can't get it back, and it's heartbreaking. Trying to scroll back. Yeah, that's such a good point, Debbie. It was crazy today to hear that how much freedom Brian Walsh had. Like, it was insane. It was almost like he wasn't in confinement. He was able to go everywhere, and a lot of that's how he was able to do a lot of what he did, by going places to dispose of her remains and get rid of the hacksaw and all that. It's insane how much of a leash he had, and what did he have, like 6 hours or 8 hours to take his mom home? It doesn't take that long to get there. He was out there doing this craziness. It is it, it that is I can't even think of the word I want to use. It's it's not serving justice for this person to be out on the streets with an ankle monitor with that much of a leash. There are so many other defendants who have to, when they say home confinement, they have to be home. They have to be within a certain amount of feet from their house. And if they step out of it, they get in trouble. And this man was just, I mean, granted, I understand he had to take the kids to school, but come on. He didn't have to leave his house to go food shopping. He could have had deliveries done. So for him to be allowed to leave it's just crazy to me. He should have been allowed to leave he was out there getting haircuts. Like, are you kidding me? Like, those little things are the only things that make me hope that he will be convicted, because, he was out getting haircuts when they were looking for his wife, like a week after his wife went missing. So it's like, those are things that make you look suspicious, dude. So hopefully the jury is clocking all that and he'll get convicted on that kind of craziness. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the difference, you look at what although he was on the ankle monitor for, it wasn't technically Massachusetts, it was the federal government, but it's still the people are people from here, so it's still the same people. But yeah, I mean, Kelsey just wanted to be able to not have to breathe into a machine. She wasn't saying take away my ankle monitor. She was saying, can I have a different way of checking in? It's like, there are different ways. And she wasn't even allowed to do that. But this guy is allowed to like roam around free. Like, it's insane. Yeah, you're right. Money talks. Money talks, and he had money. Well, he didn't. His wife and his mom had money. But yeah, money talks. When you're in a different price bracket of income, sometimes you get preferential treatment. Yeah, and this is such a good point. She's still waiting for a surgery that she had to cancel because the judge wouldn't let her go in and take off her ankle monitor. Well, they could have made arrangements. They could have made arrangements for a guard or a police officer to stand outside the operating room. Why couldn't the judge do that? Have a police officer stand outside, or have them suit up so they can go stand inside. She isn't going to be jumping off the table if she's passed out under a knife. So it makes no sense. They could have put an officer seated outside the operating room and let her take the ankle monitor off. And then the second that she comes out of surgery, snap it back on. It makes no sense. And for somebody in that position where she was shot in her chest to not get her operations, that's so messed up. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a nanny. So, oops. Brian Walsh complained about dealing with the kids alone. He had a nanny and they went to daycare. So why couldn't the nanny take them to school? You know, why didn't the nanny take them to school? You know, if it was anybody else, you know, most people can't afford a nanny. So like it was said before, money talks. He was given too much latitude, too much. And that's where oops. I never knew how you got those on the screen. Now I know. It just shows you how the justice system how the justice system isn't just for everybody. You know, not everybody gets a fair shake. Not everybody. The scales don't tip, you know, evenly for everybody. Not everybody gets the same treatment, and that is part of the failings of our justice system. You know, they're not supposed to look at somebody's money or their skin color or their class or anything like that, who they know. But we all know that's not how society works. That's not how people work. We go based on people who have money, have more clout, have more reach, and get treated better, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree. There will be developmental repercussions on that baby, and the judge and the father will be responsible. I fully agree with that. You know, when it's all said and done, the baby's going to ask, why did you take me away from my mom? You know, and, you know, is the baby going to blame him for creating this? You know, if let's play devil's advocate. If he's telling the truth about everything that had gone on before, what led him to go to, you know, get sole custody of the child or custody of the child, I could see why he would want to, but that doesn't mean it should have been done in the way it was, you know, especially and the officers shouldn't have gone upstairs with just one officer. See, it's like on one hand, they treated her like a fellow officer, but on the other hand, they didn't. And her going upstairs by themselves, that's the issue, especially since there were guns and they knew there were guns in the house. They shouldn't have done that. It blew to me, it's a breach of protocol. You know, there should have been two officers to go up there. Sorry, my inhaler just fell on the floor. So, all right, guys, let me check real quick. Yeah, sadly, a lot of times it is one-sided, but they should have had another, you know, they should have put it on the books to get it another hearing. And because usually when there is an order like that, usually it's only one person's side that they hear first. But to take away a child, there should be more than that. There should be way more than that, because that's more than just a protective order. You're taking somebody's child away. You're taking somebody's rights as a mother away. So there should have been more. You know, I think they should have had to have both come in. You know, I could see maybe taking the child out because there was an allegation, but getting a court date like as soon as possible right away. So, but just the whole situation, how it went down, never should have happened. Never should have happened. Yeah, justice is not blind, and she's supposed to be. She is absolutely supposed to be, and that's not how our system works. It's how our system is supposed to work. That's why I always say the justice system isn't just for everyone. So, okay, guys, I'm starting to wheeze, and I don't know if you guys can hear it. So I am going to end this. I am sorry for the craziness, but my computer will hopefully be working on Monday, and I do plan on, I believe, having my stream on Monday. Or actually, you know what? Next week, I'm going to do Wednesday also, because I can go over what happened on Tuesday, because Matthew's hearing is on Tuesday. So keep an eye out. I might change my mind on that. But yeah, it might be better to do Wednesday, because it'll be the day after the hearing. And I can tell you guys what happened on the 16th. If you are in the area and you have, Tuesday off next week, please come down and join us. It's at, the hearing's at 10:30. Make sure you bring your ID, and no cell phones are allowed into the courtroom, but you can leave your phone with an officer. They're little bins, and they give you a little ticket to get your phone on the way out. So please, if you're available to come down, please come join us at the courthouse on the 16th, but make sure you pay attention to our social media, because if it gets canceled, we will let you know. So I am going to end this. Let me take one last quick look. Yes. Yeah. As Cheryl said, thank you for being here, everyone. And thank you to you for being a wonderful mod. You've done such an amazing job. I appreciate you. So I'm going to sign off. I am Izzy, and I'm a mixed girl and a mixed... I cannot talk tonight either. I am Izzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Thank you for watching.